Page design is incredibly important, whether you're talking about online or print documents. This is the first thing your reader will notice and evaluate. Think about when you visit websites. If the website is badly designed, difficult to read, or looks outdated, you probably immediately navigate away and find information elsewhere, or you may assume the content is also not as credible or out of date. Even for popular authors like Suzanne Collins, who wrote The Hunger Games, a bad website might make a visitor consider whether that could really be hers. Note that document design does not necessitate graphics or colors. We'll be creating and using graphics in this course, but documents that only consist of text also need to be designed. Paragraph structures, headings, and bullet points, among many other things, help visually organize information and make for a more accessible document design. Here's an example of a text that has some pretty bad document design. It's difficult to read, right? As your textbook discusses, it's helpful to think of 4 principles when you're working on document design. Proximity. When items are close to one another, you can assume they're related, while things that are further apart are unrelated. Document design helps your audience understand the information you're presenting them. A well-designed page shows an organizational structure, even if it's just through dividing text into paragraphs or sections. These are all ways to implement the proximity principle. Alignment. You're most likely used to alignment tabs in Word that let you center, left, or right align text. Essentially, alignment is when your text all falls along an invisible axis. Consistency is key when it comes to alignment. This helps your document look professional. Even simple errors can be glaring to your audience, making your document look rushed. Repetition. Like it sounds, repetition refers to creating a consistent pattern. For instance, in your resume, all of your headings should be formatted the same way. Contrast. Contrast becomes even more important once you start using color. On a basic level, you want to make sure your reader can read or see your materials, but contrast can also help distinguish items from one another. Some other elements to consider. Typography. It's also very important to document design. Some typefaces may be fun, but they can be hard to read and are typically not appropriate for workplace documents. For the purposes of this class, you should always be using Times New Roman. Chunking. You need to think about the text itself and how accessible it is. Large blocks of text are intimidating and hard to read. You should stick to short paragraphs and chunking when you write memos especially, but even in your reports. Headings can be really helpful. They create a hierarchy of information and allow readers to skim or jump to the section they need to read. Visually, this makes the text less overwhelming. Audience. Your audience always impacts your page design. You'll most likely design very different documents for your boss in a more traditional work environment than you would for a popular blog. And you want to make sure your text is accessible for the reader. You also have to decide how you want to present your information. Thinking about your audience and the purpose of the document, would bullet points be best, or small paragraphs of text with headings, or would a more traditional essay-like format be the most fitting? Document design can really impact your future. Resumes are an example of a medium in which document design really matters. If your resume doesn't look professional, chances are no one's going to read it. You'll be learning more about resumes later on, but we can evaluate them simply based on document design. Now that you've seen some examples of well-designed documents and those that could use some work, apply these principles to the page design activity. Keep the 4 principles of design in mind, but you can reorganize the text as you see fit and add text like headings or page numbers. Keep it professional and tasteful, but have fun. Once you're happy with the result, upload your newly designed document to eCampus.